What's up, everybody? It's Scion Storm, and it is about that time for me to do something that I have never done before, and that is announce basically what I deem. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. This is just my opinion. It's my opinion of what would be the top five MMORPGs for 2013. I'm gonna have a few honorable mentions, as you can see up here, which is Age of Wushu, the top left. Age of Wushu is cool, it's an Oriental MMO, but it has a few problems. It has like cash shop issues, and people are not exactly liking that. It's unclear how that's gonna actually work out for that game. So, it has an honorable mention, but it can't be top five. Ion is a game that was on life support for a little while. Has made a comeback. It's always been a very good game PvP wise, and I love it PvP wise. And I still have a character on there and still kind of play on and off. And it might make a comeback, you never know, but it deserves a mention as well. Scarlet Blade is all pure. It's pure sex. Come on, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that it's all about the sex, it's all about the looks and being stylish and doing combos and everything else. That's just what Scarlet Blade is. And Secret World is pretty much it's a sleeper, in my opinion. It definitely deserves to be around the top five. It can't be the top five because it doesn't quite get there. Maybe if they worked on a few more things, but story wise, it probably has one of the best stories besides Final Fantasy 14 in the genre. So you have to respect Super World for the story and the actual skills and things that you put together. That's fun too. The game itself is it kind of doesn't look all that great, but it definitely deserves to be up there. So without further ado, we're going to get to the top five. All right, number five is World of Warcraft. And before all you WoW fans start raging and doing all your WTFing, let me explain. Warcraft was good for its time, and it's always going to be good for its time. But the problem with Warcraft now is that the company literally said, okay, guys, you're not smart enough to make your own builds and handle good gameplay, so we're going to separate the game into the casuals and the hardcore, and basically dumb down everything, even though the game is going to still have a hardcore mode. Now what they did is they turned around and they smashed all the skills into presets, and you can only go down one thing at a time, which is basically like you have three skills that you used to all have all of them and have like some type of choice in the excuse me, in the matter, and choose what you want to do, and just have some leeway and some fun with the system. They got rid of all that, so y'all too stupid to figure out your own builds, and we're gonna make you either do one, two, or three, and that's what you're gonna do and like it. When a company does stuff like that, that's bad. That's just not good at all. That's kind of what started the whole downfall of WoW. Pretty much dumbing down the game. It insulted everybody who had intelligence to play the game properly and ran people away. So that's kind of why the game doesn't deserve to be five. It's a very good game still. Still a triple A credit game, and it deserves to be top five, but it cannot be number one now. Not even one through three anymore. World of Warcraft is still the game it was 10 years ago, but that's just the problem. It's still the game it was 10 years ago. And that's why it's number five on this list. We're going to move on to number four now. Okay, fourth on my list is DC Universe, and the reason why is because, again, story. DC Universe has a pretty good story, comic book story, but it's still a pretty good story, and it's pretty fun, and actually a little bit in-depth combat side. And though it seems on the outside as I mash them, and I'm gonna mash, I'm gonna do this and the third, but it's a lot more in-depth than that, because mashing actually gets you through a little bit of content. But when you try to sit there and mash against somebody in PvP, if you try to mash and raids, people are gonna kick you because you're not supposed to be mashing and stuff like that. You're supposed to actually show a little bit of skill and show that you know how to combo, that you know when to actually combo, that you know when to break out of things, you know when to stun, you know when to do various combos with your moves, and situations. And it's not as easy as you really think it would be. So in a sense, this is kind of why I like this game, because it's deceptively better than it actually lets on. Also, I have a thing about devs that are actually accessible to the community and actually care about the game. I know I'm saying actually a lot, but it is true. They really care about the game. They sit there, they have meetings and everything else, and live streams. And to be honest with you, I was supposed to have a series on this game about 6 months ago, and I never did it. And I kind of felt bad because I just couldn't find time to actually put this in with everything else. I'm going to actually have a series on it, probably like within the next week or so, but it definitely belongs to be my number 4 for everything. So that's it, DC Universe, number 4. On to number 3. Number 3 on the list is Rift Online. Now I know somewhere I'm probably pissed off some WoW fans, and they're probably like, what the F? But you gotta deal with it. Rift is pretty much the king of all WoW clones, but it has its own game in its own right. There's a lot of story behind it, even though nobody really cares about it, and it's really underrated lore-wise, so people usually don't even give it credit story-wise. Actual game itself, it has a lot of freedom, which is something that, like, you heard what I said about WoW. WoW got rid of the freedom. There's a lot of freedom in this game. As you can see on my channel, I've made a few builds for Rift that have been well received. And you have the tryhards and people get mad, oh, why would you do that when you can do this? But community speaks. They do it in every game. You got guys in every game who want to sit there and have meta, but all I can say is meta my balls. And I'll repeat that, meta my balls, because when it comes to actually having fun, you should have fun. You should make builds, and Rift enables somebody to have a build and be successful and raid and do everything else. And it's not so much so for other games, but this game does a good job of actually allowing you to do that. So that's why this is my number 3, and it's definitely a game that guys should actually try and get out there and have some fun with it. Number 2 on my list is Guild Wars 2. Now, I know you guys will probably already know who number 1 is now, but Guild Wars 2 is just, it has something for everybody. It has something for the casual, something for the hardcore. It even has raiding, even though people don't give it credit for raiding. It has guild events that actually, they pretty close to raiding. They're not super adventure like craziness, like killing the Lich King or Deathwing or something like that in Guild Wars, killing Regulos in Rift. Nothing like that, but they're pretty epic, especially Tequatl, the remake of the middle level dragon that was in the early parts of the game, and they're planning on remaking other bosses. So we're gonna have raiding, and they do a good job of putting content into the game constantly. So I think they honestly do deserve the actual second spot, and the only reason why they're not first is because there's things that they kind of slack on certain things. They slack on skills and stuff like that. We've been hearing skills for like literally 8 months that we're gonna do this with skills, we're gonna do that skills. They're kind of slow with that. That's why they're not number 1 in my opinion right now. And is that bad? Nah, it's not really that bad, but it is a little bit slow. So that kind of bumped them a little bit, and everybody knows they kind of like flagship on my channel, and people love my videos that I do on Guild Wars 2, but I can't make them first if they're like, I have to tell the truth. I'm not gonna be a fanboy and lie and put something first when I know in my heart it's really not. With that said, here's number 1. Now you guys had to know that this was coming, being that I gave Guild Wars 2 the number 2 spot. Final Fantasy XIV deserves to be number 1. And the reason why it deserves to be number 1 is it did something that I have never seen any other game do. Literally be canceled, left for dead, and be just, everybody be like, what the F, and what was this that you guys tried to make us buy and everything else. And it came back from the dead, and came back with a vengeance. Had all the style and all the flair it takes to be a number 1 game. Has the story to be the number 1 game. Has the music, oh damn does it have the music to be the number 1 game. And it has the community to be a number 1 game. Probably the best community out of all of MMO, to be honest with you. I won't, matter of fact, I'll take that back. It pretty much has one of the top communities in MMO. Everybody's pretty much nice, and people will help you if you need to be helped. There's not a lot of raging that I found, actually, and looking for group. And when you look on the forums, you see people complain, oh, this person doesn't do that person does that. People try to work with a lot of people in the game that's not that good and everything else, and that's all you want to ask. Just have somebody to work with people so they don't feel neglected and want to quit the game. When you have stuff like that, it makes a good community. It makes people actually want to play and have fun and just enjoy the community. If you put that all together with the Final Fantasy brand, you have a number 1 game. That, in my opinion, is the reason why Final Fantasy is number 1 right now. A lot of people agree with me. Now they put in the PvP in. They got housing coming, even though the free company housing is kind of cheesy and they had a little bit of drama, and I had to get on them a little bit in the video and my Final Fantasy series, but they rectified that. They did the right thing and changed things up. But let's hope for the personal, and let's hope for more clothing styles and everything else. Because as you can see now, their clothing style is pretty good. The acting is pretty good. So once again, this is the reason why, in my opinion, this game deserves to be #1 right now. I know a lot of companies are probably like, what the hell? How did this happen? But step your game up. Get that flair going. Guild Wars 2 sat for a while, rehashing and rehashing and rehashing, and just thought nobody was going to come and bump them. Somebody bumped them. Same thing with Rift. Rift rehashed, and you can't be #1 in a genre and expect people like a game to not come along and bump you. Now, who knows what's gonna happen in the future? Is WildStar gonna bump things? Blade and Soul is awesome. As you see, I have a series on that in my channel. Blade and Soul is really awesome. If they ever do put that United States side, it should be right up there along with this. And this time next year, we might be talking about that in the top 5. But who knows? Is Elder Scrolls Online gonna be there? I don't know. I can't say anything. I'm in open beta. I'm in closed beta for that. I'm testing, but all I'll say to that is I don't know. To be honest with you guys, it's still, for me, it's still too early to say that. From what I'm seeing, it's kind of like a 50 yes, a 50 no. I know that's really, really vague, but the fact that I'm saying 50 yes, 50 no will tell you a lot. Other than that, these are the games that I chose. As you can see, have fun with the list, and once again, do not make this as a list that is official, that you guys need to listen to, that like all of a sudden that I've become like the king of everything and I am going to tell you how to play stuff and you should listen to me. Make your own list. In the comment section, I want everybody to tell me what their top 5 is. You know, like, I know it's going to be hard for you. It was very hard for me to narrow down this list and leave stuff off. Like you see, there's no Neverwinter there. There's no Defiance. Of course, people probably like, what the F, Defiance? Get that out of here. There's no Marvel Heroes there. And, you know, there's no Dragon Nest. I agonized over Dragon Nest because Dragon Nest is probably the most popular game on the planet right now. Well, fan favorite, but it has the most people playing it, at least. There's no, what's the other game? I'm just even forgetting it now. There's another game that should actually be up here, and I don't have that either. So without further ado, this is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and be legendary. Peace. Thanks for watching another video by me, Scion Storm. If you like what you see here, please by all means like, subscribe, share with all your friends. It really helps me out, and I appreciate everybody who stops by. One love, and be legendary. Peace.